Have the Niners met your free agency expectations? I mean, I don't know what yours were. A lot of prominent reporters in the Bay Area who have nothing but integrity were saying that the Niners are going to make a big splash. And they weren't saying this for clout or to create, views or for their own. No, they wanted, they heard there's going to be a big splash, but there hasn't been a big splash at all. It's been little ripples, some sizable ones, but no big splash. So what about your expectations, Jose?
I wouldn't even call it ripples. I'd be calling it still, because pretty much all their moves have been to field the defensive line because they lost 7 players. So it was standard. This one exactly how I expected it. I wrote literally for our site, don't expect the 49ers to be heavily active. Why? Number one, they're in cap hell. Now, of course, they're going to free it up, probably about 15, 20 million, which they did. And it's going to be about filling up the defensive line and maybe like an addition to elsewhere. This is exactly the way I foresaw it playing out. And what are you really going to like? What is this big splash? I feel like those guys got told that by someone in the building, and the 49ers are pulling an SF Giants where, hey, we tried, we wanted to, like, Jesus, don't do that. Like, were you guys using them like this? Like, what is this big splash? Like, or maybe it's just like, hey, what are you doing in free agency? Oh, we're looking at this guy, but for the right price. Yeah, no, duh. That's every freaking team. So I didn't buy into none of that bull crap about big splash, because you already have 7, 8 all pro, like Pro Bowl players. Like, how much more do you need at this point? Get some damn depth for once.
No, I do think that the Niners had a guy on their radar and wanted to get him, and it didn't work out. Joey Bosa. That was the splash I think that they were angling for. I think they were hoping that the Chargers would cut him or trade him, and it didn't happen. They got rid of Mike Williams instead. But I think that was, if the Chargers had let him go, I think the Niners would have been all over Joey Bosa, despite our protests.
Yeah, it kind of felt like reality, which I'm good, because don't.
Well, good thing they didn't make the big splash.
That's a good thing. Save you from yourself. Yeah. Like, I did not understand. If there's any pass rusher on the Chargers you wish were getting released, you should have wished like hell it was Khalil Mack, because at least he would have been worth it. He's healthy, he's dominant, he's effective. Now, Bosa's still a good player, but he's not in his peak anymore. He's not like Cowboy.
No, but he's related to the guy on the Niners. They're a family. Sorry.
So much reuniting with these guys. We want Luke McCaffrey. We want Frank Gore Jr. We want what the hell is this? What is this, full San Francisco Full House? Like, what is this? Like, I don't get it. Like, what's the enamoredness? Do people not know about Joey Bosa anymore? Like, do you
Bloodlines.
forget like his name's like this, not the same as 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah. I mean, Joe Montana has kids. They played
Jerry Rice
quarterback.
Jr.
Yeah. There's a Jerry Rice Jr. He went to UCLA, but it's a different Rice now. Brendan Rice.
Oh, yeah, excuse me. Yeah, Brandon Rice, yeah.
Look, I'm not this whole like not touching the offensive line and overhauling the defensive line to me is like a troll job from Kyle. It's classic Kyle. You lose the Super Bowl. Pretty much everyone agrees. All right, now you're going to overhaul that offensive line, right? Like, now it's time, right? And he's like, yeah, that's what I ain't going to do. Like, oh, you're going to tell me what to do? I'll do the opposite. Always does that. And I love that about him.
How are they overhauling the defensive line when they have 7 players free agent?
Because they could have re-signed their free agents like they did in the offensive line.
Why would they re-sign
on offense? Colton McKivitz, he's great. John Feliciano, bring him back. Ben Barch, really, really promising. But on the defensive line, it's like, sorry guys, we have really high standards around here.
And signing on that defensive line, Javon Kinlaw at $8 million. How the hell did he get $8 million? First of all, how the hell did he get $8 million? That's insane.
Good question. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like,
Chase Young worth bringing back?
No.
Randy Gregory
was Colton McKivitz worth bringing back? No.
Cleveland Farrell?
Was Feliciano worth bringing back? Like, sure. I mean, yeah, Chase Young would have been worth bringing back if you gave him a 1-year deal for $2 million. Like, he could be there.
It's probably
he might not make the team.
That's the thing about these guys. When they hit the free agency, they think they're bigger. They think they're better than they are. Like a Kinlaw. Like, there's so many contract guys seen where it's like, wow, there really is an offer for everyone. That's insane to me. Like, Armstead, $17 million. That was a gamble. It's like, he's not going to get that. Like, sure enough, he got that. He got the same deal, if not more. Free agency is such a freaking, like, that factors into like the re-signing equation. And it's not like none of these players they let go were like that great. So that's why I don't view it as an overhaul, because number one, they were already free agents. Number two, it's like, it's fine. You replace them with other guys who are the same, if not probably better. Like nothing's a needle mover up or down for me. It's all fillers expected.
Like Feliciano is the one offensive lineman they added last year. Since other than him, they haven't added an offensive lineman to this team in years. What? The two positions that I don't get with the Niners, offensive line and tight end, they have no plan for those two positions ever. I don't know how the hell they got George Kittle. They lucked out on that one in round 5, year 1. If they didn't get George Kittle, they've got nothing at that position. Nothing. They don't even try at the offensive line anymore. They're like, you know what? Let's just be happy we got Colton McKivitz and John Feliciano and keep it pushing, because we don't know what we're doing.
They try at offensive line. They just suck at picking the people.
Suck.
It's like a baseball player. It's like, he has a 100 batting average, but at least he's swinging, right? He's still swinging out there. He's not connecting. That's the Niners at offensive line, which, get ready, because I think they're going to really – that's where I would think the real huge reloading is going to be in that draft.
Jeff Caravella says, don't understand not dumping Debo and keeping Ayuk. Is Debo type talent lower in supply than an Ayuk type talent? Cost value ratio on Debo is rough. Yeah, and from what I hear, I mean, there's guys in the draft this year who were kind of Debo-esque. So maybe if the Niners draft like a Yak type receiver, that could indicate that they would be interested in trading Debo Samuel after June 1. Something to think about. Something to think about. Slide 20. They could take a wide receiver in round 1. They could do that. Slide 23. How much is Kyle Banana Cant worth in a trade?
First rounder.
At least a first. Maybe
Sean
two
Payton
firsts.
went for a first, didn't he? No, he went for a second.
John Gruden went for 2 1s and 2 2s. And cash. Shiza P says, is this a better D-line without Armstead?
No.
No, but the thing is, when you have Armstead, you're without Armstead a lot because he misses so much time. That's the problem. Jeff Caravella says, theory, they regretted picking Armstead over Buckner for years. They need the money for depth now. Kinlaw was the answer for trading Buckner to keep Armstead. Both bad memories gone now. They can finally move on. Thoughts? I don't think that maybe, I don't know. Maybe.
Nothing with Buckner factors in at this point. Maybe after the first year or two, but after that, it's it is what it was, because as much as it was a loss, it didn't change the difference in them winning Super Bowls all these years. It was always quarterback no matter what.
I was thinking they probably regret giving him that extension last year. They probably regret restructuring his contract last year.
That's the one that, yeah.
Then I was thinking, and maybe they just regret keeping him instead of Buckner altogether. Maybe they finally came around on that one, as they should have. Dazza says, still holding out for a big O-line draft, although Nick Allegretti would have been good. I mean, Adam Peters liked him. It makes you wonder, if the Niners still had Adam Peters, would they have been signing offensive linemen such as Allegretti or
no?
not?
Because they don't have the same cap space. It's all tied up.
You're not allowed to spend any cap money on offensive line either. You has to go to every other position first. You have to be completely fortified at every other position before you can even think about that spot. It's important.
Well, 5 players to field your actual defensive line starting and position group makes more sense than investing in one heavy guy, because you kind of need a fielder.
Kinda.